Hey, it's the DETOUR.
It's been a week. It has definitely been a week. Actually, a couple of weeks now that I think about it. So I wanted to give you guys a bit of perspective because driving vlogs are kind of like the only thing that I can do right now to get prepped into making other content happen after what's happened the past couple of weeks. So I figured I would go ahead and just give you guys a little bit of insight and then let you know ultimately just, how I got through it, because I hope that this can help somebody. I'm very much in the mentality that if I'm going through tough things, and especially with people that want to be content creators and do things, is that you're going to run into hurdles like this, or you're going to run into life problems. And for me, having a way out of those or trying to find a way to be able to overcome it is the biggest deal. So I want to share it with you guys and just kind of give you as best of perspective as I can. So to kind of fill you guys in, these past couple weeks have been nothing but tech issues. From Eric's live setup on Twitch just not working, then we got that figured out, so he's good to go. And then ultimately my vocal plugins that I use not only for YouTube at home but also my day job to get professional sounding audio just started, they just stopped working. They kept telling me that my license was up, and it was just this whole deal. And I was in a very, very bad place creatively and emotionally. Now, with that being said, is that I have nothing but good things to say about the people that are around me, especially my lady. She did nothing but just keep me centered and reminded me that everything was going to be fine, that I could fix it or find a solution. But I think that we all relate to this, is that when we're in the middle of something, that when we're fighting through it, or when we don't know what the resolution is, or when we just feel like we can't, find our ass with both hands, it doesn't feel like it's going to get better. It genuinely doesn't. And I'm here to say that after my experience, it did get better, but it's kind of created almost this kind of anxiety where I worry about when the next thing that's going to happen, or I'm worrying about having consistent content in one way or another. Not to mention, I actually saw a video this past week amongst all of this that was posted by Mortis Media. And if you don't know who Mortis Media is, I know the sun's bright, I apologize, but if you don't know who Mortis Media is, he is kind of like one of the OGs when it comes to scary storytelling. I think that the top tier one would definitely be like Mr. Creepypasta. You would have Corpse Husband, but Mortis Media is up there. And I love doing scary stories. I love doing narrations. I love doing that stuff and creating environments and audio experiences that just feel like that they're so authentic and real. He made a video that said "I'm done." It was the thumbnail said that. I can't remember what the title was, but essentially he was asking his audience for help. He was basically saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to post. I don't know how to keep your guys' attention. I don't know what YouTube wants. I don't know if I should do videos with just a black screen and tell stories, or if I need to use visuals, this, and this. And being a scary content creator, ironically, listening to that and hearing, someone that I've looked up to for a long time, and either I've gained inspiration through him or through some kind of level of Kevin Bacon through the scary community, that it made me realize that someone with over 400,000 subs is struggling. And is it the time of the year? Is it just YouTube is changing indefinitely? I don't know, guys. It's as far as scary content is concerned, because the detour stuff's gonna happen no matter what. That stuff can happen every week. That's not a problem. It's not hard to make videos like this. It really gut checked me. It really made me wonder, man, should I keep doing this? And not that I'll quit doing scary stories, but is it worth pumping them out every week? Is it worth putting my time into something, taking time away from my loved ones, taking time away from rest, taking time away from doing the detour? These different, different situations of that, is this the right step? Is this what I should do in 2025? And I haven't landed on anything yet. I haven't landed on the correct idea, but having the tech issues I've had, kind of, rounding back to that, it hasn't made it easy to be able to make content because my stuff just hasn't worked until recently. But I don't know, that was something that, as I was down, it really just kicked me in the nads, and I kind of had that moment of like, wow, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I identify with Randy Feltface very much. I think it was during his Randy Writes a Novel where he kind of got serious at one point where he says, I think I'm very mediocre. I'm very self-critical. I'm, this, and this. And I identify with that a lot. And especially with a market on this platform where things are so bloated that it's getting harder and harder to figure out how to stand out. It's getting harder and harder to understand what our role is and where we belong and what should happen. I am more than fine with unexpected things this year. I am more than fine with just, diving into things I've never dove into before, but I can't deny the fact that I want an audience. I want to be able to have conversations with people. I want to be able to read something that, to know that certain things affected people, whether it was, was something fiction-wise or if it was something that we do on the DETOUR. It's very frustrating, especially when, that whole mentality of that you work your ass off to make a short film with all your friends and all of you, make all of your schedules coincide with families and jobs and extracurriculars and vacations and work trips. And, it's like you're in the cold or you're in the heat and you're acting and you're doing all these things and you post your short film and it's barely even recognized by anyone. But yet someone posts a cat video of them playing with a toy and it gets over 1.2 million views and people can live off the residuals. That's the thing that's really tough about being on this platform, is that we never know what to do. And anytime that we complain about it, or anytime that we try to struggle through it, or that we are open with our audience, there's always this pushback of kind of being like, no, man, you just got to deal with it and just keep doing it. And while I agree there is a grind, there is that idea that you have to ask yourself is, when is enough enough? When do I understand that there's just the undeniable fact of, what, you've spoken, the audience, the universe, God, whatever else, however you want to look at it, whether it's all things in tandem or if it's one thing, has basically spoken and said, no, this isn't what you should be doing. You should be doing this, or you shouldn't be doing this at all. Being a content creator is one of the hardest things I've ever done, and it's not even from the work aspect. It's the emotional and the mental toll of people that have such a differing opinion, people that don't do their research and just make assumptions, and then there's misinformation. Then there's people that only pay attention to 2 seconds of what you say and they try to identify you with that. The audience is always picking and prodding, and they're always looking for a chink in your armor, and they're always looking for anything that they can to be able to latch on to you to say, you see, you suck at it. Now, I don't want to give a platitude. We do get a lot of positivity, and there's a lot of people that love that we do, but it's very tough to look past that criticism. It's very tough to think to yourself, man, am I doing the right thing? Am I screwing all this up? Did I use the wrong word in a title in a video that could have actually changed my life? With the tech issues that happened this past week, I really had to take a step back and evaluate myself and really think about whether or not that what I'm doing is what I should be doing. And I would be lying if I said that I found out exactly what that is. And I'm kind of just going to go where the wind takes me. I will only make a podcast now if I feel like I've got something to say, or that I feel like that I've got someone that I want to talk to that I feel like could actually give a good positive conversation or bring light to something or just have a good time. I'll only make a scary story when I've got a good idea for one, or if I read one that I'm like, you know what? No, this is going to be a lot of fun. I want to make this into a thing. Or I'll only make a DETOUR video like this whenever I feel like that there's actually something to do. Because I know what it's like to force content where it's like, well, we have to do this many a week. So it's like, let's go ahead and just, let's just make one. It's like, well, what's the idea? Oh, we'll just make it up and we'll go from there. I've been in that situation many times, and not just with the 4 channels that are active now, but since I've been on YouTube since I was a teenager, and there's a part of me that's really done forcing it. I hate it when content creators do that, and I know for a fact that I've done that a lot, and I think it's for good reason. It's because you want to make sure that there's a consistency. You want to be sure that you have a presence, that the algorithm knows that you're active, and that, you can actually put something out there that people want to see. But in the same hand, you have to be able to have time to rest and to recoup and to be able to have that good idea instead of just getting burnt out. And I think that that's one of the things that I don't like about YouTube, is that it punishes you for taking the time to be creative. It punishes you for needing to take time off. It punishes you for not giving it exactly what it wants. Because let's be clear, nobody knows what this entire website wants. That's the part that's so hard. The only people that understand what this is like are the people that make content. But no, going through the past couple of weeks and experiencing everything, I had many times I thought to myself, you know, who am I doing this for? Why am I doing this? Why am I stressing about it so much? Like, why am I putting so much pressure on myself? You know, it's not a good mental place to be. And I know that 2025 is going to be a year of challenges in many different ways, is that we have goals for things that we want to do in our personal life, and then also on YouTube and being content creators. But I will be damned if I let my mental health take a nosedive because of that. But I'm making a declaration for myself to know that, no, I'm not going to force anything. This year, I'm going to do what I want. This year, I'm going to make things that make me happy. I'm going to make things that I enjoy doing. And sometimes you got to take a step back and you got to remember why you're doing something, instead of it just being the job that you're trying to strive for. Because honestly, YouTube as a job, it sucks. It really does. Like, there's a lot of elements that completely blow. Yet, it's also one of the easiest things that you can do. You record, you upload, and you wait for the response. But it's tough when you know that you've put so many hours into it that ultimately, if YouTube doesn't like it, then they're not going to push it for you. So why should I stress? Why should I worry? And I'm not going to give my energy into that if it's not worth it. Because I know I've got ideas, but I have enough ideas. And that's what I plan on doing. Ultimately, guys, if you can take anything away from this, just remember this, guys. Don't force anything. Just do. Just be. Because ultimately, you'll be a lot happier and you'll have so much more peace in that process. Thanks, guys.